So this is the difference between job description and job specification. So job description, it describes duties and responsibilities of a specific job or summary of the nature or the type of the job, just so we know like what we're doing. And it also contains a thorough written description actually of the jobs and its requirements for, well, the candidate to be effective in this position. It also describes the key performance areas or tasks for a specific job. In other words, the job title. Like, what exactly is it? So, for example, Goon School, we were hiring an editor. We would need someone that is proficient at using, editing software. It could be DaVinci Resolve, it could be Premiere Pro. The working conditions, how you'll have to work in this position. Is it a brick and mortar job? Are you working at like Goon School headquarters? That sounds very fancy. We don't have headquarters. I just literally operate this from my bedroom. The relationship of the job with other jobs in the business, like how can our editor of the videos, work with our thumbnail editor as well. See where I'm going with that. Job specification. Now, this specifies the absolute minimum, the minimum acceptable personal qualities, skills, and qualifications that are needed for the job. And we've also got a written description here of specific qualifications and skills that is needed for the job. This is job specification, like getting down to exactly what is needed. So, for example, we also run a tutoring brand. What are the qualifications needed for the job? Well, we would like to have all our tutors with an acceptable matric certificate with the bare minimum of a distinction in the subject that they'd like to tutor. We'd prefer not to have someone who, let's say, got 32% for Afrikaans to be teaching Philosophicant and Lean. The qualities, we would prefer someone who is perhaps a bit more extroverted, confident in quite a large class or one-on-one, has a big, powerful, dominant but also friendly voice. And the relevant skills, well, you need to know how to use some relatively basic software like a graphic sketchpad or how to operate a microphone. So yeah, just some key elements there. And it also describes key requirements of the person who will fill the position. For example, any formal qualifications or willingness to travel or just work some unusual hours, especially with a tutoring company. You can't work like during the day on weekdays because all your students are at school. So you'd have to work, after school, maybe from 6 to 10 p.m. and on weekends as well. Public holidays too.